So again, when you do this, there's actually two ways you could go about doing this. If you're a person who really hated the pen tool, I'm going to show you that you could do it in a couple ways. So I'm going to make an additional layer because if we have everything on the same layer, it's difficult to kind of click on items without clicking on like the template and things like that. So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to call this template, but I'll probably delete the template after we design the flag because the rest of it isn't that great. So now I'm going to add another layer, which is just like we did in InDesign, in Photoshop, in Illustrator, this icon right down here. And I'm going to call it newsletter. So that way I can have the difference. And remember, you can change the color. I like to sometimes have them different because if you have both of them as pale blue colors, it's difficult for you to see the difference in the binding box. So I'm going to show you two ways you could actually kind of go about doing this, and then I'll go back. I'll let you guys pick, and then we'll do the one way as a class. So I know some of you probably really hate the pen tool. Well, one thing you could do is you could actually just use the rectangle tool, draw one rectangle, and then I'll fill it later. And then I need to make that not go off the page. There we go. And then you could actually use the circle tool, and you could draw a circle. And so to make it perfect, I can try to use my rulers to make the shape the perfect circle, like the band. It's a great band. It's a band I have a tattoo of. And then now I have the circle. And then if I filled both these shapes with the same color, then I would never have had to touch the pen tool, which I know some of you probably never want to touch it again. So then you could just fill these shapes with the same color with no stroke. But if you had a stroke on these, then you're going to have an issue with the color. I could go to my color and I could change my color up to more of a green. Let's go this way. That looks pretty close. And I can say OK. Then I can switch it. But if I have a stroke on it, you're going to see that you're going to see the difference between them. So you don't want to do that. You could also just do this. I personally would, whoa, wrong layer. I would personally just actually use the pen tool, but that's probably because I kind of like the pen tool. But you could also go click, I could say stroke of none so I don't see it. Well, I guess I can try to fill it this way. If you have the fill when you're actually clicking, you are going to see it kind of start to appear. So I'm going to hold the shift key and click, shift key and click. I'm going to go here, click and hold, and drag my curve, pull, 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 let go, delete the handle, shift key to click again, shift again, shift again, and now I have my shape. Me personally, I would do it with the pen tool, but I know some of you probably do not like the pen tool, so I just wanted to show you that there's more than one way to actually do this on your newsletter. Which way do you want me to repeat? Pen tool or shape? Shape. Okay, I figured people hate the pen tool. I know. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I would pick a color. You can come over here and double click and pick a green color. So if you are going to use a newsletter and you know that you're going to use the similar colors on the front sheet as well as the back sheet, after we do this, I would add this to the CMK swatches. And it should pop up in my swatches. So again, to change the color, because if we're going to just do shapes, might as well just fill the colors. So you can go over here to your fill, over here in your tool palette, click, click, and it'll open up your color picker. Similar to the color picker that you saw in Photoshop and Illustrator, you can slide the bar around to kind of pick a color. I don't really care if it's green or not. You just need to make sure that we use the exact same color for the rest of the design. Now, actually, if we're going to design this for grassroots, we do need to think about your client, and the client does purple and green. Now, we would want whatever color you use to be the same color for the rectangle as well as the circle. I think I'm going to do green, and then I'm going to do a darker purple for the little circle. But you could do the opposite. You could do purple with green. So I'm going to find a green that looks pretty good, not too crazy colored. That's kind of good looking. I don't really like Kelly green very much though. And then I'm going to say add to swatches. I'm going to say okay. And then if I come over here to swatches, you're going to see I have this color here. And you can actually make a new group, and we can say click, click, and say grassroots. So again, what you do is you double click, pick your color, say add to swatch. Swatches are just like swatches like you see at the paint store. And then we're going to say okay. And then if you come over here to this window that says swatches, what has all the little squares, you can go down to the bottom and you'll notice this folder. The folder means you're going to put, things inside of it, right? So logically that means that you're going to be putting different colors in there. This will definitely help you out when you're designing because you want to use the exact same colors in the front of the newsletter as well as the interior page. So here then I could just come over here and click on this color. So if I'm going to add a purple later, I might as well add it now since I already have my swatches open. So now I'm going to go find a purple color because they use purple for their colors. It's kind of like around this color range-ish. Over here, double click this solid box right here where my mouse is moving right here underneath the magnifying glass. Then if I want to put this swatch in this folder, how do you think I get that swatch in that folder? Drag it. Drag to the folder, and now it's in the folder. And now I have my two colors that I need. And if I wanted to add a third color, like a light gray or something like that, I could. I probably wouldn't do a black because it might be too heavy. But now I can draw the shapes that I need using the same colors. So the first one I'm going to do is probably my circle. Because the bar is probably going to go over my circle. So I'm going to do the rulers like we did multiple times in Illustrator. So let me, I guess this one you have to drag. So all you have to do is, click and hold on your ruler, and then you can drag to the edge of the circle. Same from the top, click, hold, drag to the bottom of the circle, just like we've done so many times before. Then I want to make sure I have the color I want selected in my fill with my shape. So I'm going to select my shape tool. The computer is getting a little crazy. Making sure I'm on the right layer. I'm on the newsletter layer, so that's good. So I'm going to click and hold on that solid shape, and I'm going to use the ellipse tool. Now again, me personally, I would use a pen tool, but I figure some of you, like you said, would like to use the shapes. So now we're just going to line that little bullseye up with the horizontal and vertical lines. So we have that solid shape tool, click and hold to get that circular one. Now I'm going to click and hold and pull up, and I'm going to let go. And it doesn't quite fill perfectly, so I could go back and get my arrow, and I can drag my shape a little bit and try to adjust it to make it fill that space better. Now after I've drawn the circle, I want to draw the rectangle. So I'm going to click and hold on that same shape tool, and I'm going to get the rectangle tool. So I'm going to then use the same color so we don't see a difference with no stroke because we don't want to see the stroke. And then I'm just going to click, hold, and drag over, and I'm going to let go. And you will see these red boxes, but if you go up to View, Grids and Guides, you can hide all the guides and hide all the binding boxes and all that, so you can kind of see what it looks like without it. But just know these red things are just the binding box so you know where the shape is. So no one will see any separation between these two colors. And now you have your flag. You could also do this with the pen tool. Now if we look inside, there is a tinier circle, which I think is nice. It adds contrast. How did they get this text to type around that circle? Yes, the type on the path tool. If you wanted to do that, you could do a circle. So we'll do that, and we'll put maybe a puppy or something inside it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just turning off my newsletter layer with the visible eye tool, and I'm going to draw circle hash marks, guides. Let me get on that layer. Have to be on that layer to drag the guides. So now I'm just going to go and do the same thing with this circle. I'm going to draw my guides there so I can see my guides, and then I'm going to turn my layer back on. And now I know this is kind of where I need to, where did it go? So I need to do the bottom one. And now I can turn it on and I can see this is where my other circle would meet. So I'm going to go click and hold and get the circle tool. And instead of having it on, there we go, cancel. Instead of having it green, I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to, or click, and then I'm going to go down to grassroots, and I'm going to pick my purple for my fill. Then we're just going to line these hash marks up with the item and eyeball it. We'll say we'll end right around here. And now I have my solid circle. Now I think that circle looks a little small, so I think I might actually make it a little bit bigger. They did it probably because they want text to go around it. And now you have the beginning of that flag. So again, to do that so you can kind of see where it is, you're going to have to turn your eyeball off. Then you're going to click on the template layer, because unless you're on that layer, it will not allow you to draw guides for that layer. So we're going to click and hold, and you could even put it to the top if you wanted, top, left, and right, bottom. Then you'll know how big to make your circle. Then we can click your layer back on and click on your newsletter. Then we're going to go get your shape tool, and we're going to pick your color of your purple. Remember to change the color. You can click on it, double click on it, and that'll go to the color picker. But if you know you already have the swatch, like we did, you can click here and change it, or you can actually go over to swatches and change it. So either way is a way that you could change your swatches to purple. Now that we have that purple color for that tool, we're just going to go line the hash marks up, click, hold, and drag, and now you have your purple circle. Those are just to let you know what layer they're on. So when you print, those lines will not print. Yeah, it's kind of scary because you think, oh my gosh, that looks hideous. But it's just to let you know that it's on that layer. They will not print. But if you go to your view and you can, if you go preview, instead, if you go to view, screen mode, preview, then it shows you what it looks like, and you can see there are no red lines. Well, it's just because that's the edge of the, you have a black line around your circle. That means you probably have a stroke then, because if you go to view, screen preview, if I go back to normal, this is helping me with the design. So click on your shape, and do you have a stroke in this box right here, a color? Where my mouse is right here? Okay, so you just take it to 0. Alright, so if you wanted to type on path, again you would click and hold and take your type on path tool, and then you can move it and click on here, and you can actually start typing. You could put the volume and the issue number here or something like that. It may be a little weird. I don't really know if I would type around this, but just so you can see, you'd say grassroots animal rescue. And then now you have grassroots animal rescue. And if I don't like where the text is, you can just rotate your circle, and now you've rotated where your text is. Don't like the text? Click on it, like we've done to rotate things before. Move to the outer corner where you have that double-sided curvy arrow. Click, hold, and rotate, and you can kind of see where it would go, and now you have grassroots animal rescue. It kind of made my circle look a little weird. It shouldn't do it because I didn't distort it. Yeah, it's weird. Looks like it's getting a little different, but I'm not pulling out or changing it. So that's how you could do the flag for the top right here. So you could put your text in here, but remember you have to be careful with the text, because if you do the text tool and you move and you see the text tool with a circle in it, you will now be typing into that box, and you don't want to do that. So what I do often is move it close to it but away, and then I would type out the headline. Now I want to show you some stuff with the body copy, and then we'll come back up to the flag because we're talking about text already. Now when you have an article and it's created in Microsoft Word, you can actually save that article into that folder, and you can place that article onto this page. You don't necessarily have to have, you don't have to type it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the template background layer because we don't really need it because it's pretty hideous. We were just doing the flag. And if you say you wanted to add more to this, you could actually use your pen tool and then, trace underneath this and then add another shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Place, and we're going to pick one of our articles. So if you ever want to just see what it looks like without it, if you go up to View, Screen Mode, Preview, it shows you what it would look like if you were going to print. And then you can always go back. So those are always, they're just there to let you know. So again, that's View, Screen Mode, Preview. And then to go back is normal, and that's just to let you know what the binding box is. I want you to design it on your own. This is just me trying to show you and make you think about the thought process of, if you think about, say you sketch out something and you want to draw it into InDesign, how do you dissect it and realize how you could implement your design? So you want to design it, otherwise that's copying somebody's work. This is just for me to kind of show you how would you dissect this and actually create this. So yeah, you're going to want to do something from your own vision. All right, so now we're back in the normal mode. So we're going to go File, Place, and we're going to pick one of those articles. We're going to go after, let me get there, I have a lot of folders to get through. All right, so I'm going to grab the first one we're going to use is we'll go Dog Jog. Well, no, I take it back. We're going to go, because that one's real small. We're going to go Restaurant Week article. So we're going to say Open. Now the thing you'll see is that you're going to move and your text is going to move with you. You can click once and it will import it, and it will import it in this one column. But that doesn't mean we have to stay in whatever column that it gave us. So again, to do that, you're just going to go to File, Place. I moved and I grabbed the wrong thing. Cancel. We're going to go File, Place, and we're going to pick that article of the Restaurant Week. So Restaurant Week, I can click once. Now if I know I wanted to extend across the whole page, I could just click, hold, and drag a box about how big I think I might want it to be. And again, whenever you see this plus sign, it means that you have more text. So this plus sign will always be on the bottom right where I'm circling. You will have more text than what we see. So to let us see how much text there is, you can pull your box down until that plus sign goes away. Whoops, I actually pulled the box. So we're just pulling the box down, 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 and still has a plus sign. Now in newspaper articles, you're not generally going to have these spaces as much. So another thing is you'll notice that I've dragged all the way down to the bottom, but I still have a plus sign. There's no way I can fit all this in just like this. One, the column is too large. This is not like a paper that you write for your teacher. This is a newsletter. So what we can do is, if you have your text box selected, if you look up top, kind of around the middle, you'll see there is a little icon that has columns. Those are the number of columns. So one way you can get rid of this plus sign, which means you have more text than we actually see, one is to draw the box bigger. The second is to change the number of columns. So I can change this to 4 columns, and now you can see I have 4 columns of text. You'll notice though that I have this terribly trapped white space. When you have modular design, like I said, you want it to look like stacked rectangles and even rectangles. You want usually the top and the bottom of the text to kind of line up. So what you can do to do that is you can drag that bottom text bar